Hey guys, pretty happy about the way the engine test went. Started right up basically and ran good. So very satisfied with the results of that. I just wanted to kind of go over a few things about the engine test and how we set up for it. I'm not, don't have really time to tell you everything, but get some of the highlights. Basically, what I did was I pre-oiled the engine. The way I did it was I took the bottom spark plugs out, I sprayed some lube in the cylinders, and I disconnected the hose to the oil pressure gauge at the firewall. And as I cranked the starter motor, I was watching the end of that hose and waited for oil to squirt out of it. It does a couple things, is that lets me know that oil's starting to pump, and it also gets rid of the air in that little hose, at least as far as the firewall. So anyway, connected that back up as soon as I saw the oil coming out, then I cranked it some more. The starter's not under any load when there's no compression, so you don't really have to observe the 10-second rule, but I did anyway. And I put my hands on the starter. I ran it, I don't know, 3-4 times, and the starter was plenty cool. It didn't really have any load on it at all. But I started to see the oil pressure gauge move, and I knew I was getting some oil circulating around the engine, and I knew it was in good shape to go ahead and put the spark plugs back in and start the engine. So I did find, though, before I put the spark plugs back in, I did find an oil leak. Just a bonehead move on my part. I put the oil temperature sensor in. Whenever I put it in finger tight and didn't tighten it up, which breaks the rule of airplanes. You're supposed to put something in, you tighten it, usually. So anyway, I found it quick when the oil came spurting out. Easy fix. That was the only oil leak that I had, which I'm really happy about. Because the oil cooler is original oil cooler, and it took some of the brunt of the nose over when the airplane went over. You could tell just by the shape of the nose cowling in that area. And there was grass wedged in it and everything like that. So I also had a fuel leak, and the fuel leak was in the valve, coming out of the valve. So a pretty good leak, actually. It was leaking a lot. This is the valve that came with the airplane. It's been 1.5 years since the airplane ran. And, maybe the seals were dry. I worked the valve 10 or 12 times, both directions, and kind of got the seals lubricated, I guess, because the leak dried up to basically a slow drip. Maybe dried up completely. Maybe just had some residual drips on there. But I'll probably rebuild this valve if I can. I've never done that. I'm not sure on this particular model. The last build I did, I bought a new valve from, I think it was Dakota Cub, if I have that right. I think this is original equipment, and I'll have to check and see if I can get a rebuild kit for it. I think that's probably the right thing to do. I've never had a plane sit that long. I don't like the idea of having that big of a leak after a plane sits for a while. So I think it's time for new seals on that valve. If I can't get them, I'll have to get a new valve. But other than that, and I I didn't have my mags grounded properly. So when I did my mag test, I couldn't get any drop on the mags, and that was another bonehead move. So we're getting that straightened out. That's an easy fix. I was just connecting a wire that wasn't connected. But yeah, I couldn't get more than 1450 RPM. The tail was coming up on me. I didn't have any weight on the tail. I didn't think I was going to have a problem with the prop hitting the ground, but I didn't want to chance it. So you can see in the video, as soon as it came up on me, I pulled back on the throttle. I would have liked to get up to higher RPMs, and I probably will do that once I get the mag wiring fixed. And it was raining today, but as we get out there and give it another good test run, make sure I get a good mag test. We'll put some sandbags or something on the tail. Make sure we protect this prop, because just got this prop and I want it to last a good long time. Anyway, very, very happy about the way the weekend went, and we'll see you in the next video. Well, I want to say something about the mags because, you know, I don't have a mag timing device. I don't think they're that expensive. I just don't have one, and I know that you can set the points using what I call the paper method. So that's what I did, and it worked fine. I just used a little strip of paper and used the markings on the flywheel, and I didn't have any problems at all. It was the first time I'd ever done that. But it didn't take very long, and it was pretty easy. I don't know maybe how accurate that is compared to using the timing light. I should, when this all gets done and we take it for its first annual, probably it would be a good idea to put a timing light on, just make sure it doesn't need to be fine-tuned, but the engine ran good. So that's, I thought that was kind of fun to learn how to do that. And to be honest with you, I really like the Magnetos. I think it's a pretty neat design. I love this old equipment, and I love the engineering that went into it. And I love the fact that there isn't a computer or a software or a firmware or a version that affects this airplane. And that this thing doesn't even know if there's a problem with the cell towers. They just keep on flying. I love the engineering and the ingenuity that went into these machines, and I love the fact that they're still flying today after so many years. So, pretty cool. Just thought I'd share that with you.